Friends, thanks so much for joining us for the Daily Treasure podcast. It is such a privilege for me to join you today, especially because I get to introduce to you my friend Sherry Kendrick, who is our guest writer for this week. Our devotional today is called You Will Not Abandon My Soul, and today's treasure is from Psalm 16, verses 9 and 10. Therefore my heart is glad, and my whole being rejoices. My flesh also dwells secure, for you will not abandon my soul to Sheol, or let your Holy One see corruption. Friends, I will never forget hearing those awful words. Mike has been diagnosed with deadly melanoma. He has been given 6 to 12 months to live. My friendship with Sherry began over 20 years ago when Mike was a church planter, and Sherry asked me to speak at a women's event. We connected on a more personal level when Chuck and I attended Naples Covenant Church, where Sherry served as director of children's ministry, and Mike was on staff as an associate pastor. The news about Mike's health rocked us. Though relieved when they told us about a treatment that might give Mike more time, we knew his battle against this cancer would be fierce. You can learn more about their journey in our Help and Hope podcast, where Chuck and I talk with them about living with hope and terminal illness. Mike and Sherry share how their journey encouraged them to enjoy each day, knowing that life is fleeting. And they also share practical suggestions for those just starting a similar cancer journey. In this week's devotional, Sherry takes us deeper into her own journey after the death of her beloved Mike. Her perspective is unique because when she wrote these devotionals, she was only 1 year into her grief. Though covered in tears, Sherry's story offers hope to broken people, no matter their loss. And friends, Sherry not only offers hope through her writing, but also in another Help and Hope podcast called Intentional Grieving, a conversation that we had about a year after Mike's death. Friends, after the death of our son Mark, I wanted to talk to someone ahead of me in the grief journey, but I especially wanted to talk to someone who remembered the first years of grief. In this series and my conversations with her, Sherry pours herself out like a drink offering for the purpose of coming alongside those who are fresh in their grief. She gives us a roadmap through the foreign land of grief, encouraging fellow strugglers to experience the same confidence David describes in Psalm 16, "The Lord will not abandon my soul." In preparation for this week's devotionals, I encourage you to take some time today to soak in Psalm 16. Preserve me, O Lord, for in you I take refuge. I say to the Lord, you are my Lord. I have no good apart from you. As for the saints in the land, they are the excellent ones, in whom is all my delight. The sorrows of those who run after another god shall multiply. Their drink offerings of blood I will not pour out, or take their names on my lips. The Lord is my chosen portion and my cup. You hold my lot. The lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. Indeed, I have a beautiful inheritance. I bless the Lord who gives me counsel. In the night also my heart instructs me. I have set the Lord always before me. Because he is at my right hand, I shall not be shaken. Therefore my heart is glad, and my whole being rejoices. My flesh also dwells secure, for you will not abandon my soul to Sheol, or let your Holy One see corruption. You make known to me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore. Friends, thanks so much for joining us today, and I know that you are going to be blessed by the words of my friend Sherry Kendrick in the days to come. Friends, thanks so much for joining us for the Daily Treasure podcast, and we are so grateful when we hear stories about how God is using this devotional to help turn your hearts toward Jesus. Another resource that we want to offer to you is Ask Dr. Betters on YouTube. My husband Chuck answers hard questions about suffering, questions that are submitted to him by people from all over the world. And you can submit your question as well. So go to markinc.org, that's markinc.org, where you can submit a question for Chuck to answer, Or you can leave your own story about how God is using Daily Treasure to help turn your heart toward Jesus. Again, I'm Sharon Betters, and thank you so much for joining us, and I look forward to being with you tomorrow.